All right, let's play with relative change as percent change. So we're talking about percent increase and percent decrease. Now, hopefully, when I say percent, you think 100. 100 is always our reference when we're talking about percents. So if we're talking about a percent increase, that's going to be bigger than 100. So if I would say there's a 20% increase, that would result into a 100 over 100 ratio. Percent increase. If we're talking about percent decrease, well, 100 is still our reference. So if I said there was a 15% decrease, that would give me an 85 over 100. With an increase, you add to 100 to get the numerator. With a decrease, you subtract from 100 to get a numerator. And that allows you then to write a proportion and do some yippity-yippity math, right? So think about this. All of these different words that mean less than. So 10 less than yields 90 because 100 minus 10 is 90. 25% decrease. Well, 100 minus 25 is 75. 30% lower. Well, if it's lower, I subtract. Less than, I subtract. So these would be the numerators if we're setting up proportions. If we're talking greater than, we simply add. So 100 plus 18 is 118. 100 plus 50 is 150. 100 plus 100 is 200. And this gives us kind of the first half of our proportion when we want to solve proportion equations or percent proportions. Too many P words. Now, you can also do these with equations, totes, absolutely. Because remember, if you had like 125 over 100, that's the same as 1.25. And then you can put that into your equation. All of the problems I will do will be with proportions because I personally think those are easier and I'm all about easy. So, here we go. Rental rates in Gary are 25% more than rental rates in Muncie, where they are $635. Find Gary's rental rates. Okay, 25% more. Well, 100 is my reference. More means add. So 100 plus 25 yields my numerator of 125. Now, Gary is more than Muncie. So that means my numerator represents Gary, my denominator represents Muncie. I know that because Gary is more than Muncie. 125 is more than 100. So now we're finding Gary's rental rates. So X is on the top, and Muncie's rental rates are 635. So we solve the proportion like any other time. We cross multiply, and we can then see that Gary's rental rates are $793.75. More. Right? Go back and say, okay, Gary is more than Muncie. 793 is more than 635, so that works. Number 2, Lafayette's population is 15% less than Bloomington, which is 82,000. Find Lafayette's population. Okay. 15% less. That means we subtract from 15, and we get a proportion of 85 over 100. Now, Lafayette is less than Bloomington, so the smaller number is Lafayette, the bigger number is Bloomington. So when I'm setting this up, okay, find Lafayette's population. So we're finding Lafayette. Bloomington is 82,000. We cross multiply and divide, and we now know that Lafayette's population is 69,700 people. Rental rates in Fort Wayne are $687, which is 13.2% less than rental rates in Indy. Find the rental rates in Indy. Okay, again, we have less. So we're going to subtract from 100 to get 86.8 over 100. And who's less? Well, Fort Wayne is less than Indy. So the numerator is represented by Fort Wayne, where rates are 687, and we're trying to find the rental rates in Indianapolis. We cross multiply and divide, and we're going to say that general rental rates are $791.41 in the city of Indianapolis. And last problem on this one, Indianapolis has a population of 852,866, which is 68.3% less than Chicago. Find Chicago. So again, less. If it's less, we subtract from 100 to get our numerator. Now, who's less? We know that Indy is less than Chicago. So my numerator is Indianapolis. 852, 866. We're trying to find Chicago. So we cross multiply, divide, and Chicago has 2,690,429 people. And that is